Chosen one, stop scrolling. The moment your eyes met these words, heaven moved. You are not reading this by chance. This is a divine interruption. Everything around you has been orchestrated to bring you right here, right now. You were meant to see this at this exact moment because your spirit has reached its appointed hour. You've always sensed that something about your journey was different. From childhood, you felt a separation that could never be explained. People misunderstood your silence, mocked your depth, or labeled your loneliness as weakness. But what they could not see was that you were being hidden, set apart for divine purpose. What looked like isolation was actually incubation. Heaven was forming you in secret while the world thought you were forgotten. There is a reason your spirit feels heavy at times. You've been carrying more light than your surroundings could handle. Every delay, every rejection, every broken connection was heaven's hand steering you away from counterfeit paths. You weren't being punished, you were being purified, and you weren't abandoned, you were being assigned. Listen closely, this message is your confirmation. God has seen the sleepless nights when your prayers felt unanswered. But silence was never absence. It was divine stillness before revelation. What you mistook for abandonment was actually the whisper of destiny aligning your path. And right here, let this sacred truth sink into your heart. The Apostle Paul wrote in the letter to the Ephesians, chapter 2, verse 10, "For we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand that we should walk in them." You are not a mistake. You are the masterpiece of heaven, designed for works that were written into existence before you even took your first breath. Every challenge you faced has been shaping the vessel that will carry that divine work to completion. The world may have told you that you are behind, but God says you are on schedule. What you lost was never meant to stay. What you're about to receive was reserved only for those who endured the breaking. You are entering a moment when divine timing will collide with your obedience. That's when everything changes. There is a reason heaven asks you to stay silent this coming Tuesday. It's not about superstition, it's about surrender. The silence is a spiritual act, a declaration that you trust the unseen hand more than the noise of the world. In that silence, angels will move on your behalf. In that stillness, divine instruction will be whispered. When you quiet the world, you will finally hear God. Chosen one, your time of awakening is here. You are stepping into the identity that has been calling to you from eternity. No more shrinking, no more doubting. Heaven has called your name, and all of creation is holding its breath, waiting for your response. If this message resonates deep within you, do not let it pass like any other post. Respond to it. Like it as an act of agreement. Share it so another hidden one may awaken, and subscribe to stay aligned with the flow of these divine revelations. Then comment the number 4000 below as a sign that you recognize the call and you choose to answer it. The hour has struck. You are seen. You are chosen, and the silence ahead will not be empty, it will be holy. You were marked long before you ever understood what calling meant. The story of your life did not begin at birth. It began in the mind of God. Every breath, every battle, every heartbreak has been part of a script authored by eternity itself. You have felt the pull of something beyond this world for as long as you can remember. A quiet reminder that your existence is not random. You are not just living. You are unfolding prophecy. There were times you wondered why the weight on your shoulders seemed heavier than others. You asked why you had to be the one who felt so deeply, who saw through smiles, who carried the burdens of people who never carried yours. You tried to silence that part of you that felt too much, to blend in, to be normal, but your spirit refused, because the hand of heaven was on you even then. You are one of those chosen before the foundations of the earth were laid, separated not for privilege, but for purpose. You carry marks invisible to the human eye, signs of divine ownership. It's why certain doors closed, why certain friendships ended, why your heart could never find peace in ordinary things. Every rejection was a signpost reminding you, you are not called to fit in, you are called to stand out. You were being set apart, even when you didn't know who was setting you apart. There is a mystery in how God hides his chosen ones. He lets them walk through fire before revealing their crown. He lets them be misunderstood so that humility can build the foundation where glory will one day rest. That's why your pain has been so precise, because your purpose is specific. Heaven does not waste fire, it forges destiny. In the book of Jeremiah, the prophet spoke with trembling lips and eternal certainty, and the Spirit spoke through him, saying, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations." Those ancient words are your mirror. You were known before your body took form, chosen before your name was spoken, and appointed before the world saw your face. The confusion, the struggle, the loneliness, they were never signs of rejection, but of refinement. God trusted you with the weight of difference because he saw strength where others only saw weakness. When you look back at your life, you'll see divine fingerprints everywhere, places you should have fallen but didn't. Situations that should have broken you but built you instead. Every moment was designed to bring you to the edge of awakening, where you now stand. And even now, heaven watches as you begin to recognize your reflection in these words. You were not chosen because you were perfect. You were chosen because you were willing. Your tears have been counted, your prayers have been stored, and your heart has been prepared for what is coming. Soon, the world will see what heaven has always known, that the mark of God on you cannot be erased. You will walk among the broken not as a victim, but as a vessel. You will carry peace where chaos reigns. You will speak light where despair has settled. You are not waiting for confirmation anymore, you are the confirmation. Everything that has tried to break you has only proven the depth of your anointing. And though your journey has been hidden, heaven has been watching every step. You are marked, you are known, you are ready. There were long stretches of your life when heaven seemed completely silent. You prayed, you waited, you cried, but the sky stayed still. No answers. No signs, just the ache of wondering if God still remembered your name. Those silent years were heavy, and they taught you how to live with unanswered questions. You saw others move forward while you stood still, and somewhere deep inside, you started to wonder if you had been forgotten. But silence does not mean absence. Heaven's quiet is not rejection, it is refinement. When God hides his face, he is not turning away. He is teaching you to see in the dark. The silence you have endured has not been empty. It has been sacred. Every moment of waiting has been the hand of God shaping your heart to carry the weight of what's coming. Those who are chosen are often led through the wilderness of stillness before they are trusted with revelation. In those hidden seasons, you learn to depend not on what you heard, but on what you knew. You held on to faith, even when your feelings betrayed you. You continued to walk, even when you saw no path ahead. That kind of faith cannot be taught in comfort. It is born in quiet places where your only company is God himself. When you asked, "Why isn't he speaking?" heaven whispered back, "Because you are learning to hear me differently." The silence was your classroom, and patience was your teacher. Every unanswered prayer was not a denial, it was a delay of perfection. Heaven knew what you did not, that timing carries as much holiness as truth. As the prophet wrote in the scroll of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3, "For the revelation awaits an appointed time. It speaks of the end and will not prove false. Though it lingers, wait for it. It will certainly come and will not delay. You see, what you have been waiting for is not lost. It's simply maturing. Just because it has not arrived does not mean it has been denied. The silence is the soil where divine promises grow roots. Every day you chose to keep believing was a seed of faith that will one day break through the surface of impossibility. The silence shaped your sensitivity. You have learned to discern the whisper amid the noise, to trust the pulse of the unseen, to recognize when heaven moves even if no sound follows. This is why your heart feels so tuned to the Spirit now, because silence sharpened you. You are emerging from those quiet years not empty, but equipped. You've been trained by waiting. You've been molded by surrender. You've become dangerous to darkness because your faith no longer depends on feeling. So now, as you read these words and feel the truth stir inside you, let your response echo heaven's call. Type "I will wait" in the comments below. Not as an act of resignation, but as a declaration of faith. By saying "I will wait," you are proclaiming that silence no longer shakes you, that you trust the timing of God more than the rush of this world. The very silence that once wounded you has now become the sound of your strength. When you type "I will wait," you are not surrendering to delay, you are standing in faith, declaring that patience is your weapon and trust your victory. By writing "I will wait," you align yourself with heaven's rhythm, proving that your spirit moves by divine timing, not human urgency. And heaven always honors endurance. Heaven's roll call has begun. Across the unseen realms, a trumpet has sounded, not one that the world can hear, but one that the Spirit recognizes. It is not made of metal, but of light. It does not vibrate through air, but through eternity. And when it sounds, those who are chosen feel it deep within their bones. You feel it now, the stirring, the awareness, the quiet certainty that something inside you is awakening. You are part of that divine assembly, one voice among the 144,000 who were marked not by religion but by revelation. This calling is not for those who merely believe. It is for those who become. You have been trained in pain and shaped in secrecy because your voice carries weight in heaven's army. While others chase noise and fame, you were called into silence and depth, that you might speak only when the Spirit moves. The world sees names and titles. Heaven sees assignments and alignments. You were not chosen because of your status, but because of your surrender. When others sought power, you sought presence. When others built platforms, you built altars. That is why heaven remembers your name. That is why your spirit cannot rest while darkness spreads. You were born for this hour, to stand, to shine, to sound the call of light amid a world losing its voice. Do not doubt your place among the chosen. The number 144,000 is not a measure of superiority, but of surrender. It represents the remnant who remain pure, who do not compromise truth for comfort. They walk with integrity when the world chooses imitation. They stand firm when the crowd bows low. They carry the fragrance of obedience, and the seal of divine ownership rests upon their foreheads. As the Apostle John recorded in the book of Revelation, chapter 14, verse 1. Then I looked, and there before me was the Lamb, standing on Mount Zion, and with him 144,000 who had his name and his Father's name written on their foreheads. That vision is not distant, it's prophetic, and it's unfolding. Those marked ones are not mythical figures lost in time. They are living among us now, walking quietly, shining subtly, waiting faithfully. They are the ones who see through deception, who discern the unseen, who love without condition and obey without hesitation. Their hearts burn with a light that darkness cannot understand, and their silence carries more power than the world's loudest shout. And you have felt that mark. The gentle pull in your spirit when evil rises, the ache for truth when compromise surrounds you, the longing for purity in a polluted generation. That is not random emotion. It is divine DNA. You carry heaven's imprint, and it cannot be erased by fear, failure, or time. There is a remnant awakening, scattered across nations, languages, and generations. Their spirits are beginning to hum in harmony. They recognize each other not by face but by frequency. When they speak, truth trembles. When they pray, atmospheres shift. When they stand together, the world will witness the return of divine order. Do not look around to see if others understand you. Few will. Many are called. But few are chosen because few endure the process. Yet you have endured. You have been refined by fire, tempered by time, and marked by mercy. This is heaven's roll call, and your name is on it. This Tuesday will not be an ordinary day. Heaven has whispered something sacred, an instruction so quiet that only those with a still spirit can hear it. Stay silent. This silence is not a void. It is a weapon. It is the pause before divine movement, the calm before the awakening wind. On that day, when others rush, you will rest. When others speak, you will listen. And in that listening, heaven will speak directly to you. Silence is a language of power. It is the moment when your spirit becomes a temple and your thoughts become prayers. When you choose to stay silent, you do not lose your voice, you lend it to God. He takes your stillness and turns it into a song of alignment that echoes through realms unseen. That Tuesday, the air will feel different. The noise of the world will try to pull your attention, but heaven will be waiting for your surrender. You may not understand why such a simple act carries such weight, but obedience always unlocks what understanding cannot. It is the humble act of saying, God, I trust you enough to be still. For when the chosen ones obey, creation listens, as was spoken in the sacred texts of old. In the book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 14, the Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Those words are not a suggestion, they are a revelation. Stillness does not mean inaction, it means alignment. The moment you rest in God's timing, heaven begins to move on your behalf. You will not have to strive, argue, or prove your worth. The silence itself becomes your declaration of trust. On that sacred Tuesday, your quiet will not be empty. In the unseen, angels will take position, blessings will realign, and your spirit will be renewed. Every breath you take in stillness will speak louder than 1,000 words shouted in haste. And as this message flows into your heart, remember what you are part of is not a broadcast or a program. It is a movement of light. Every heart that listens, every soul that awakens, every act of kindness you show, these are ripples of heaven's heartbeat spreading through time and space. If this message stirred something within you, let your light move quietly through simple acts of faith. Tap the heart as a sign of agreement, like a flame answering another flame. Share it softly as one would pass a candle in the dark, so another soul might see. And subscribe, not as a routine but as a covenant to keep walking with the voices of light that call you higher. And if your heart ever feels led to give, see your donation not as payment, but as water poured on sacred soil. It helps this garden of messages continue to bloom for those still searching for light. No act of giving is too small when offered with sincerity. You are not funding a voice, you are fueling a flame. You are keeping the lamp burning in a world that still needs warmth. Let it be voluntary. gentle, and wholly a reflection of your gratitude for what heaven has already placed within you. Giving is never about losing, it is about joining. When you release what you hold, heaven multiplies what you need. When Tuesday comes, remember your silence will shake the unseen. Your peace will roar louder than any storm, and your obedience will echo through eternity. The air around you is beginning to shift. You may not see it, but your spirit feels it, the weight pressing against your chest, the trembling sense that heaven is near. This is not fear, it is glory. What you feel now is the weight of glory. The invisible crown being formed in secret, shaped by every storm you have survived. The world measures worth in numbers and applause, but heaven measures it in endurance. Every time you forgave when you had the right to be angry. Every time you kept walking when your heart wanted to give up, heaven recorded it. You have been carrying something holy inside you without even realizing it. The weight you feel is not punishment. It is presence. It is the nearness of God pressing upon your spirit, reminding you that you were never meant to walk lightly through life. You were designed to carry divine power, and power always has weight. It bends you, but it does not break you. It humbles you so that glory can rest safely upon you. As the Apostle Paul wrote in the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 4, verse 17. For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all. That verse is the mirror of your life. What seemed unbearable was, in truth, preparation. The fire that burned you was not sent to destroy, it was sent to refine. Every heartbreak was heaven removing what could not hold the weight of your next season. You were never being punished. You were being purified to become unshakable. There is something sacred about those who have been broken yet still shine. They walk differently. Their presence carries quiet authority. When they speak, the room stills because their words are not merely sounds, they are forged truths. That is you now. Every scar, every tear, every midnight cry has become part of your armor. You are no longer fragile. You are fortified. The weight of glory rests upon your shoulders like royal fabric. It does not glitter, but it glows. It is unseen yet undeniable. Those who once overlooked you will not recognize you when heaven reveals what it has been forming. The light that once flickered in you is about to blaze with purpose. Glory does not descend on the careless. It rests upon those who have been crushed and chosen. You have carried loneliness, rejection, confusion, and through it all, you stayed faithful. That is why heaven now draws near. You are being wrapped in divine heaviness, not as a burden, but as proof of transformation. And when that weight feels too much, remember, gold only bends under fire when it's being shaped into something valuable. You are not collapsing under pressure. You are being crowned under purpose. If you feel this truth burning inside, if you sense the weight of something holy resting upon you, then let heaven hear your acknowledgement. Comment 77711 below 4 sevens representing divine completion overflowing into new beginnings. It is not superstition. It is your prophetic declaration that you understand what you carry. You are no longer running from the weight, you are ready to wear it. When you type 77777, you are declaring that your pain has completed its purpose and heaven's perfection is now overflowing into your next chapter of glory. By writing 7777, you align yourself with divine timing, acknowledging that every weight you carried was shaping you for completion, strength, and supernatural renewal in this very season. In the unseen realms, something stirs when your name is mentioned. Light trembles and darkness retreats. The battle that surrounds you has never been about what you possess in the natural, but about what you carry in the spirit. There is a weight on your life that hell recognizes and fears. That is why you have faced warfare that others cannot understand, because you are not ordinary. And your assignment is not small. From the very beginning, the enemy has studied you. He saw your potential long before you did. He recognized the light that flickered within your soul, the light that has refused to die even in your darkest nights. Every disappointment, every betrayal, every delay has been an attempt to extinguish that light, but it only made you burn brighter. There are battles that never show themselves in the physical world. Conflicts that happen in whispers, in dreams, in sudden heaviness of spirit. You've felt it, those moments when despair comes uninvited, when confusion creeps into your peace, when exhaustion weighs on you for no reason. These are not coincidences, they are signs of invisible warfare. But here is what the darkness keeps forgetting: what is born of heaven cannot be broken by hell, as the apostle reminds us in his letter to the Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. That verse does not exist to frighten you, it exists to awaken you. The opposition you feel is confirmation of your calling. You have become a threat to systems of darkness simply by choosing light. Every time you forgive, you overthrow bitterness. Every time you speak hope, you dismantle despair. Every time you love when it would be easier to hate, you wage war on the unseen. You may not wear armor made of steel, but your prayers are swords. Your tears are oil for victory. Your faith is a fire that angels recognize and demons flee from. When you rise each morning despite the heaviness, heaven counts it as triumph. The ground you've gained in silence has not gone unnoticed. There are moments when you feel weary, when you question why the fight never seems to end. But endurance is not a curse, it is your weapon. The longer you stand, the weaker the darkness becomes. Every act of persistence shifts the battlefield. Every whisper of "I still believe" breaks chains that generations before you could not. You are not only fighting for yourself, you are breaking patterns, redeeming bloodlines, and reclaiming territory. Understand this: the intensity of your warfare reveals the magnitude of your destiny. The greater the resistance, the greater the promise that follows. And though the battle is fierce, you are never alone in it. Heaven has assigned warriors to your side, angels who move when you pray, who surround you when you feel outnumbered, who whisper strength into your spirit when words fail. One day, when you look back, you will realize that every invisible struggle was proof of visible purpose. The night did not destroy you, it defined you. The battle did not end you, it established you. You are becoming the living proof that light cannot lose when it refuses to surrender. You are not just surviving spiritual warfare, you are rewriting its outcome. There is a moment when heaven teaches you that true power does not always roar, it whispers. The world associates strength with sound, with being seen and heard. But in the kingdom, authority often moves in silence. The strongest voices are not the loudest. They are the ones that speak only when commanded by the Spirit. That is the mystery of divine restraint, the whisper and the sword. You have walked through seasons when your silence felt like defeat, when you wanted to speak, to prove, to explain, but something inside you stopped you. That pause was not weakness, it was wisdom. Heaven was teaching you to choose the higher ground. The sword that God places in the hands of His chosen is not always used to strike, it is often used to guard. There are times when the greatest act of power is to stay still while chaos rages around you. You may not realize it, but every time you refused to retaliate, every time you held your peace when your heart burned for justice, You were wielding a sword in the spirit. Restraint is heaven's strategy for those who are trusted with destiny. The Word of God declares in the book of Proverbs, chapter 17, verse 27, "The one who has knowledge uses words with restraint, and whoever has understanding is even tempered." You see, power without control is destruction, but power guided by the Spirit becomes deliverance. There is a reason heaven has silenced your mouth in certain moments, because your voice carries weight. Every word you speak has creative energy. It builds or it breaks. It heals or it harms. God has been teaching you when to speak and when to stay silent, so that when your moment to speak arrives, your words will pierce through darkness like light through a shattered door. You are learning the balance between whisper and sword. The whisper represents intimacy with heaven, the quiet confidence of knowing who you are in God without needing to prove it. The sword represents authority, the courage to act when heaven commands. To walk in divine power is to carry both. You are not meant to live in silence forever, but silence must come before speech. For silence sharpens the sword. Every battle you have faced has been training for this balance. There were seasons when your silence protected you from unnecessary wars, and there will be seasons when your voice will command victory. The key is to discern the difference, to know when your quiet becomes obedience and when your voice becomes deliverance. The whisper teaches humility. The sword teaches courage. Together they form the language of heaven's warriors. When God finally releases your voice, it will not sound like the voice of the wounded, but of the refined. Your words will not be loud, but they will be heavy with truth. There will come a moment when the same silence that once restrained you will release you. Heaven will say, "Now," and when you speak, hearts will awaken, walls will crumble, and peace will descend like rain. Until that moment, do not despise your quiet. It is not emptiness, it is energy collecting, power gathering, destiny waiting for its appointed time. The whisper is teaching you patience. The sword is teaching you readiness. And soon, both will move in perfect harmony through you. You are learning to be still without being silent forever. You are learning that your whisper can disarm storms and that your sword can split the veil between fear and faith. This is the season of divine restraint, the holy training ground, where heaven prepares its chosen ones to speak once, but with eternal impact. Every chosen one reaches a crossroads, the moment when obedience costs something precious. It is not a dramatic battle of swords and storms, but a quiet test of alignment. This is that moment for you. You stand between what you want and what heaven wills, between your voice and your silence, between impulse and purpose. It is here, in this invisible tension, that destiny is decided. Obedience is rarely glamorous. It often looks like letting go of explanations, walking away from arguments, or choosing peace when your heart craves closure. The greatest victories of heaven are not won in crowds, but in the secret corners of the soul. You do not need to prove your calling to anyone. The proof is in your obedience. You've learned that disobedience doesn't always look like rebellion, it can simply be delay. Every time you postpone what God told you to do, the flame dims a little. But when you act, even in trembling faith, heaven moves. Angels take position. Paths clear and unseen favor begins to flow. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 11, verse 28, "Blessed are those who hear the word of God and obey it." That blessing does not always appear immediately, but it roots deeply. Every act of obedience plants a seed that will bloom in its own divine season. You may not see the harvest now, but heaven is already writing your faith into its eternal story. You have been trained for this very crossroad, the years of silence, the seasons of refining, the quiet nights when you thought no one saw you. All of it was preparation for a single decision to obey, even when it costs you something. Because obedience is not about understanding, it's about trust. It's saying, God, even if I can't see it, I'll still walk where you lead. And here lies the mystery: obedience will always take you further than ambition ever could. Ambition feeds ego, but obedience feeds destiny. The more you surrender, the lighter your spirit becomes. You are no longer striving to be noticed. You are moving to be aligned. That is the path of those marked by heaven. The crossroads of obedience is not meant to frighten you, it's meant to free you. Once you choose surrender, peace follows like a shadow. The war inside you ends, not because you won, but because you yielded. In that surrender, strength is born, the kind of strength that cannot be faked or borrowed. You will know you've reached this place when silence feels safer than explanation, when peace feels heavier than proof, and when your yes feels like a key unlocking something ancient inside you. Heaven records such moments not with thunder, but with light. If this truth stirs within your spirit, if you recognize that you're standing at that divine intersection where choice meets calling, then let your soul respond. Comment "I choose" below. Those two words may seem simple, but they are sacred. By writing "I choose," you declare that obedience is greater than understanding, that faith is stronger than fear, and that you are ready to move where heaven leads. No hesitation, no explanation, just trust. When you type "I choose," you are declaring that your faith outweighs your fear, and your obedience has become your worship, the highest language heaven understands. By writing "I choose," you seal your alignment with divine purpose, surrendering every hesitation and stepping boldly into the story heaven has been preparing for you all along. There comes a time when the fire within you can no longer stay contained. The season of hiding ends, and what was whispered in the dark begins to shine in daylight. You were never meant to remain unseen. You were chosen to carry divine fire into places where hope has grown cold. This is the moment when heaven leans close and says, "Now, carry the flame." This calling is not about perfection. It's about willingness, the quiet readiness to let your life burn with purpose. You are not the source of the fire. You are the vessel that carries it. And wherever you walk, that fire leaves traces: warmth in cold hearts, light in shadowed minds, courage in weary souls. The world may not always understand your glow, but it will feel your presence. As Jesus declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 14, "You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden." Those words are your identity written in divine ink. You are not a flicker trying to survive the wind. You are a torch meant to set others ablaze. Every step you take, every act of kindness, every word spoken in love becomes a spark that touches eternity. Yet even the brightest flame must be tended. Fire needs breath. It needs fuel. And in the same way, your calling thrives when nurtured through prayer, through reflection, through the company of others walking in light. Each time you share truth, you feed the flame. Each time you lift another soul, the blaze grows stronger. Think of it like this: a single candle burns quietly, but when another candle draws from its flame, neither is diminished, both shine brighter. That's how light works in heaven's economy. When you like, share, or subscribe, it's not about algorithms, it's about passing the flame. You're saying, "Let this light reach another dark corner." Each simple action becomes a ripple in eternity, touching lives you may never meet, but heaven will never forget. And if your heart feels stirred to go further, to keep the fire alive for others still searching for warmth, then let generosity be your language. A donation is not payment. It's breath for the flame, oil for the lamp, water for the roots of this growing tree. You give not because you must, but because you can, because something inside you recognizes the beauty of sustaining what brings light into the world. Imagine it this way somewhere. Someone tonight will feel seen, heard, and awakened by words that reach them because of your quiet kindness. You may never know their name, but heaven will. What you give in love multiplies in light. There is no obligation here, only invitation. You are free to listen, free to feel, free to respond however your heart leads. The beauty of heaven's work is that it moves through willing hands, never forced ones. The same spirit that calls you to carry fire will also show you how to keep it burning. So if this message touched something deep within you, let your response be a gentle flame. Like this message as a silent amen. Share it as a spark of hope. Subscribe as a step into the journey, and give if your heart whispers yes. Not for recognition, but for continuation, so that light may never go out where it's most needed. Your fire is part of heaven's plan. Carry it forward. There will always be those who misunderstand your stillness. When you withdraw to listen, they will call it indifference. When you choose silence over noise, they will assume defeat. But heaven knows the truth. You are not retreating. You are realigning. Every chosen one must learn to live unshaken by human misunderstanding. For your validation does not come from applause, but from alignment with purpose. You will encounter the mockers and the watchers, those who observe your journey from a distance, waiting for signs of weakness. They study your pauses, your pain, your uncertainty, and build stories around them. Yet their perception is powerless against truth. You are walking a path that was never meant to be explained. It was meant to be revealed in time. There is a strength that comes from being unseen. When people misread your silence, heaven rewrites your story. Their doubt becomes your disguise. While they talk, God builds. While they laugh, God lifts. What they interpret as stillness is actually divine construction, the unseen shaping of your destiny. The Word of God reminds us through the writings of David in the Psalms. Chapter 37, verse 7. Be still before the Lord and wait patiently for Him. Do not fret when people succeed in their ways. When they carry out their wicked schemes, you see, patience is not passivity. It is positioning. To wait on God is not to stand idle, it is to hold your ground until heaven finishes what it started. Every time you refuse to react, you build walls of peace around your soul. Every time you choose silence over retaliation, you declare, my defender is divine. And though the mockers may seem loud now, their noise fades quickly. For there is no argument strong enough to withstand divine timing. When God begins to move in your life, the same mouths that doubted you will fall silent in awe. You will not need to prove anything. The evidence will speak through your transformation. The watchers, too, serve a purpose. Their eyes, though curious, become unwilling witnesses to God's faithfulness. The more they observe, the more they will see that no accusation can cancel anointing. The hand of God upon your life will become undeniable, even to those who doubted it most. And when that moment comes, do not gloat. Do not seek revenge. True victory is found in mercy. For the one who has been misunderstood learns to extend grace instead of judgment. You know now what it feels like to be falsely labeled, to be silenced when your intentions were pure. That pain refines compassion. It teaches you how to respond differently. Every chosen one must carry two things into destiny: authority and humility. Authority without humility corrupts, but humility without authority hesitates. You are being shaped to carry both the strength to stand firm and the gentleness to forgive easily. Let them talk. Let them wonder. While the world measures progress by visibility, heaven measures it by obedience. You have already won by choosing peace over pride, and one day, the very silence that others misjudged will become the testimony that sets you apart. So walk quietly. Speak only when the Spirit gives you word. Keep your eyes on the unseen, not on the audience. Heaven has been watching longer than they have. Your story will not end in misunderstanding, it will end in revelation. You are not forgotten. You are not small. You are a chapter in a divine narrative still being written. And though others may skim your pages, heaven reads every line with purpose. There are moments when the heavens open quietly, not with thunder or fire, but with a soft awareness that something ancient is awakening within you. This is one of those moments. You are beginning to sense the rhythm of divine numbers, the frequencies that heaven uses to mark those who belong to its remnant. The number itself is not the power, the meaning behind it is. It is the code of remembrance, the echo of identity for those chosen to stand when the world begins to tremble. You are not called by accident. You are counted with intention. The prophetic number that calls to your spirit today is 5555, a sequence of divine grace multiplied, the number of transformation and spiritual rebuilding. When you see it, it is not coincidence. It is heaven's gentle whisper saying, change is not coming, it has already begun. In this moment, your life is shifting from endurance to empowerment. You have walked through the fire of breaking. Now comes the wind of becoming. The prophetic number aligns with your new season. It signifies that what once fell apart will rise again in divine order. The same ashes that once spoke of loss will soon tell stories of resurrection. As the prophet Isaiah wrote in the ancient scroll, chapter 61, verse 3, to bestow on them a crown of beauty instead of ashes, the oil of joy instead of mourning, and a garment of praise instead of a spirit of despair. That verse is your promise written in eternity. It declares that your losses were not wasted, they were the soil from which divine restoration grows. Every broken dream, every unanswered prayer, every closed door has been part of heaven's rebuilding process. You have not been buried, you have been planted. And what grows next will carry the fragrance of grace. The 5555 season is a sacred transition. It calls you to let go of what you've outgrown, to release the people, the fears, and the versions of yourself that no longer fit your divine design. You are being restructured from the inside out. The shaking you feel is not punishment, it's construction. Heaven is rebuilding you on stronger foundations, faith, obedience, and peace that cannot be stolen. You will soon begin to notice divine alignment around you. Doors opening effortlessly. Peace where chaos used to dwell. Provision appearing before you even ask. These are not coincidences, they are confirmations. The same God who wrote your name in the book of life is now writing new chapters for your destiny. This number 555555 is not about superstition. It is about synchronization. When your spirit resonates with it, it means you have stepped into the frequency of heaven's transformation. You are part of the remnant chosen to carry light into a new era. If your heart recognizes this, if you feel the truth of this season stirring within you, then let heaven hear your agreement. Comment 5I'm5 below, not as a ritual, but as a revelation. It is your prophetic act of alignment, your way of saying, I am ready for my rebuilding. I welcome the grace of change. For when you declare it, heaven writes it. When you type 5555, you are declaring that divine grace surrounds your transformation, that every broken piece in your life is now rebuilding into beauty and strength. By writing 5P555, you align with heaven's rhythm of renewal, choosing restoration over regret, trusting that change is not loss, it is divine restructuring for your greater purpose. There is a sacred power that rises from stillness, the kind of strength that doesn't come from shouting or striving, but from peace that has been tested and proven. You have reached that place now. The world around you may still be loud, filled with confusion and chaos, but your spirit has learned a different language, the quiet confidence of those who know God's hand is upon them. You have witnessed how silence speaks louder than noise. When others fought to be heard, you chose to listen. When anger burned around you, you stood still. And in that stillness, heaven spoke. It didn't speak in thunder or lightning, but in clarity, in peace, in the subtle certainty that you were not alone. Your faith has matured. It is no longer a cry for rescue, it is a calm knowing. You do not panic at delay or rejection anymore because your heart understands what your mind used to question. Everything unfolds at its appointed time. The years of silence that once felt heavy have now become your sanctuary. They taught you to hear the whispers that others ignore. As the prophet Elijah discovered in the book of 1 Kings, chapter 19, verses 11 and 12. Then a great and powerful wind tore the mountains apart and shattered the rocks before the Lord. But the Lord was not in the wind. After the wind, there was an earthquake. But the Lord was not in the earthquake. After the earthquake came a fire. But the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire came a gentle whisper. That whisper changed Elijah's life, and it's changing yours too. You have realized that God's power often hides in gentleness. The whisper is not weakness, it is authority wrapped in peace. When you carry peace, you carry the sound of heaven. And in that sound, battles end before they begin. The silence you once feared has become your shield. It protects you from unnecessary wars, from distractions that steal your joy, from words that would have wounded you. You have learned that peace is not the absence of struggle, it is the mastery of response. When you walk in peace, you are not denying reality, you are declaring dominance over it. You are saying, "My emotions are not my guide. My God is." That kind of calm shakes the unseen realm because darkness thrives on reaction. When you refuse to react, you disarm it completely. This is how silence speaks. It announces victory without a word. It carries confidence that does not need validation. It draws strength from surrender, not from struggle. You are beginning to embody this truth. Your stillness has become your sermon, your peace, your proof, your endurance, your crown. And now, wherever you go, your presence begins to shift the atmosphere. People may not understand why they feel lighter around you, but heaven does. You carry the residue of divine stillness, the fragrance of someone who has wrestled with chaos and chosen calm. You have become a resting place for the Spirit of God. Your silence no longer isolates you, it identifies you. You are one of the few who have learned to speak through peace, to fight through stillness, to move through trust. The whisper that once sustained you is now flowing through you, transforming your very presence into a message. This is the fruit of your stillness, power that doesn't need to shout, glory that doesn't need to prove, victory that doesn't need to announce itself. You have become the whisper after the fire. The sound of awakening is spreading across oceans, deserts, and cities. Something unseen begins to move, a pulse that connects hearts who have never met but share the same fire. It is the rising of the remnant, the gathering of those who were once scattered and silent. The 144,000 are no longer waiting for a sign, they are becoming one. It begins quietly, as all divine movements do. A word here, a vision there, a stirring in the night that whispers, "You are not alone." What was once isolation is turning into identification. The lonely warriors who fought their battles in silence are discovering each other through divine timing. And as they connect, heaven's rhythm grows stronger. You can almost feel it, the invisible harmony forming across nations. The chosen ones are awakening in waves, each carrying a piece of the divine sound. Some have been hidden in prayer rooms, others in workplaces, others in quiet fields where no one knew their name. But now, the veil lifts. They begin to sense each other's presence, drawn together not by coincidence but by covenant. The Apostle Paul wrote in his letter to the Romans, chapter 8, verse 19. For the creation waits in eager expectation for the children of God to be revealed. This is that revealing. Creation itself has been waiting for this moment, for hearts purified by fire to stand and release heaven's light. The earth groans for alignment, and the chosen rise as answers to its cry. You are part of this great unveiling, one thread in a tapestry woven by divine design. There is no competition among the remnant, no race for position or recognition. Each one carries a different sound, but together they form the song of restoration. Some will speak, others will heal. Some will build, others will intercede. Every role matters, every spark contributes to the blaze. The body moves as one, guided by one spirit, responding to one call. You will begin to notice signs of this awakening around you. Strangers who speak words your spirit instantly recognizes. Conversations that seem ordinary but carry prophetic weight. Dreams that align with things others have seen on the other side of the world. Heaven is weaving a network of light, strand by strand, and you are one of those strands. The rising of the remnant is not loud or chaotic, it is steady and sure. It moves through compassion, through truth, through quiet authority. The chosen ones do not need to prove who they are. Their presence confirms it. They do not shout to be seen, they serve. They love, they shine. And as they unite, darkness begins to tremble. The world will not understand how such peace can carry such power. It will look for organization, for explanation. But this movement is not built by human hands. It flows like wind felt, not contained, seen through its effects, not through structure. This is what you were born for, to take your place among those who rise not for fame, but for faithfulness. The power of their connection is not in numbers, but in purity. Their bond is not of flesh, but of spirit. You will know them when you meet them, not by appearance, but by resonance. Your heart will recognize the frequency of home. And as the remnant continues to rise, the world will begin to change. Light will return to places thought forgotten, and hope will reignite where despair once ruled. The rising has begun, and you are part of it. You have carried the fire quietly, and heaven has watched as you endured, obeyed, and waited. The time of recognition draws near, not the recognition of men, but the acknowledgement of heaven. The crown prepared for you is not made of gold or jewels, but of endurance, humility, and purity. This is the crown of the end-time ones, given only to those who refused to surrender their light when the night grew darkest. The crown does not arrive in a single moment. It reveals itself through transformation. Every scar turns into silver, every wound into wisdom, every tear into light. The suffering that once felt meaningless becomes sacred because it has produced the strength to carry glory. According to what is written in the book of James, chapter 1, verse 12. Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because, having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him. You are that person. You have stood the test. You have carried faith through storms that tried to drown you. Heaven now clothes you with quiet authority, the kind that does not need to prove itself. because truth carries its own weight. The oil on your head was pressed from your pain, and your endurance has become a fragrance that draws angels near. This crown is not ornamental, it is functional. It symbolizes dominion over what once broke you. You now walk differently, speak differently, and see differently. The crown represents the moment your pain no longer defines you, it refines you. And as this transformation unfolds, you become a living message, a lamp that carries heaven's flame into the shadows of this world. When you like this message, it is not vanity. It is a quiet nod to heaven, a flicker of agreement saying, I see what you're doing in me. When you share it, it is not promotion, it is participation. Like a river overflowing its banks, you allow what has touched you to flow outward and find another thirsty soul. When you comment, your words become seeds of light planted in unseen soil, growing into unseen fruit. What you speak in faith may be the spark that awakens another weary heart. And if your spirit feels stirred to go beyond, to pour oil into the flame that keeps these words burning across the world, then let generosity be your language. A donation here is not currency, it's breath. It is rain watering a field of hearts still waiting for awakening. It is the soft hum of yes whispered through giving hands. You are not required to give, you are invited to participate in the ongoing miracle of light reaching darkness. Just as a tree does not demand sunlight but welcomes it, giving is the same, natural, beautiful, effortless. You give because the message lives in you, because you want to see its light travel further, to the corners of hearts that need it most. And when you subscribe, see it not as a click, but as planting a flag in this growing garden of faith. It says, I choose to keep walking this path of light. You owe nothing, yet heaven welcomes every gesture, every like, every word, every shared flame. Every drop of oil poured from your hand adds to the sound of heaven's rising chorus. Your crown is forming, chosen one. It gleams not from gold, but from surrender. It shines because you never stopped believing. Now the world will see the radiance heaven saw long ago, and your obedience will become your glory. Heaven is moving. The stillness before has become motion, gentle at first, like the stirring of dawn before sunrise, but gathering strength with every breath. The time of waiting is giving way to the time of marching. The chosen ones, the remnant of light, begin to take their places as prophecy turns from words to movement. The great gathering does not look like an army of soldiers, it looks like an orchestra of souls. Each one carries a sound, a note of obedience that, when combined, becomes heaven's symphony. Some carry intercession, others carry compassion, others carry revelation that pierces confusion like a blade of light. Together, they form a harmony that darkness cannot imitate nor interrupt. This is heaven's final march, not a march of destruction, but of restoration. The world sees chaos, but heaven sees preparation. The shaking of nations is not the end. It is the rearrangement before renewal. The chosen are not sent to condemn, but to rebuild, to stand as living altars amid ruins. Their mission is simple yet profound, to restore what love once planted and sin tried to uproot. As the prophet Joel recorded in his vision, chapter 2, verse 7, they charge like warriors, they scale walls like soldiers. They all march in line, not swerving from their course. This verse describes not earthly warriors, but spiritual ones, those who walk in obedience, not arrogance, in unity, not rivalry. Their strength lies in discipline, in the rhythm of faith that keeps them aligned with divine purpose. You have felt this pull. Haven't you, that sense of movement inside your spirit, as though something beyond you is guiding your steps? It is not coincidence, it is coordination. Heaven's rhythm moves through you. leading you to places and people where your light is needed. The steps you take are not random. They are orchestrated by the one who has always known the path. And while the world trembles under uncertainty, the chosen move with unshakable peace. They carry stability in a time of shaking, because their foundation is not built on systems but on spirit. The storms that once terrified them now testify of their training. They have learned that even winds and waves must bow to divine timing. You are part of this march, whether you feel ready or not. Every moment of pain, every test of faith, every night of endurance has equipped you for this. The battle was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to prepare you. You have been refined into resilience, softened into compassion, and sharpened into purpose. This is not the end of the story. It is the crescendo. The chosen ones are not running away from the world. They are running toward it, carrying the light that heals. The final march is not toward war, but toward awakening. Not toward judgment, but toward restoration. There will be signs, an increase of discernment, dreams that feel like instructions, encounters that feel preordained. These are not coincidences, they are confirmations. Heaven is aligning its warriors, preparing them to move as one body, one breath, one heartbeat. When you see this unfolding, do not fear the unfamiliar. Do not resist the call that tugs at your spirit. The same God who has carried you through seasons of silence will carry you into this movement of glory. The march has begun not with noise, but with purpose. Each step you take in faith becomes part of heaven's choreography. And as you move, the world will see that the light of the chosen cannot be hidden anymore. The final chapter of obedience is not waiting, it's walking. You are no longer a bystander to prophecy. You are prophecy in motion. There is a holy silence before glory, the breath between heaven's promise and its fulfillment. It is not emptiness. It is expectancy. You can almost feel the weight of it in the air, the hush that falls when heaven holds its breath. This is the final stillness, the sacred pause before revelation breaks open across the world. Everything you have walked through has led to this moment. The silence, the fire, the battles, the tears, all of it has been preparation. You have been shaped, refined, and realigned. Every scar glows now with purpose. Every shadow that once frightened you has become a teacher. You are no longer who you were when this began. You have become who heaven intended you to be. In this silence, the noise of the world fades. The opinions, the doubts, the distractions, they fall away like leaves in the wind. What remains is your soul standing face to face with the one who called you. It is here that crowns are placed, mantles are received, and destinies are confirmed. The silence becomes sacred ground. As the Apostle John recorded in the book of Revelation, chapter 8, verse 1. When he opened the seventh seal, there was silence in heaven for about half an hour. That silence was not void, it was awe. It was the stillness of heaven before divine justice moved, the quiet reverence before glory unfolded. That same silence now fills the atmosphere of your life. Heaven is preparing to reveal what has been hidden, to release what has been restrained. The pause you feel is not delay, it is anticipation. You have learned that silence is not the absence of sound, but the presence of God. In stillness, you see more clearly. In quiet, you hear more deeply. This is why you were told to stay silent on that sacred Tuesday. It was not about words. It was about alignment. Now you understand. Silence was never meant to diminish you. It was meant to anoint you. As you stand in this final silence, you carry the marks of heaven's craftsmanship. The light within you is steady now, no longer flickering with uncertainty. You have become a vessel of calm power, a resting place for divine peace. The world will soon witness the fruit of this long obedience, the strength that comes from surrender, the wisdom that grows from waiting. The chosen ones are gathering in spirit. Across nations and tongues, they are united not by speech but by stillness. They know that their power does not come from shouting, but from being in tune with the heartbeat of heaven. Together, their silence forms a chorus more powerful than thunder. You can sense it, the anticipation of heaven, the soft vibration of glory on the verge of release. Everything around you is slowed, not because it is ending, but because it is beginning again in a higher rhythm. This is the threshold between time and eternity, between faith and fulfillment. Do not rush this silence. Let it wrap around you like a mantle. Let it steady your breath, still your thoughts, and remind you that you were never alone. The same voice that called you at the beginning whispers now, "It is done." The silence before glory is not the end. It is the beginning of everything promised. Heaven is about to speak, and when it does, your name will be among those who answered the call. This is the holy hush before the sound of victory, the eternal silence before glory. You have reached the end of this journey, but in truth, it is only the beginning of another. Everything written before this moment has been a path leading you back to yourself, to the strength you forgot, to the light you carried all along. The words were never just a message, they were a mirror, and what you see now is not someone broken, but someone becoming whole. The silence, the fire, the endurance, it has all prepared you for this moment of awakening. You stand now as one of heaven's chosen, not by title but by truth. Your heart knows it. The calm inside you is the confirmation. If these words have stirred something sacred in you, let your response flow naturally, like a river finding its way back to the sea. When you like this message, it is not a gesture, it is an echo, a quiet yes whispered back to heaven, saying, "I understand now." When you share it, you are not promoting, you are planting. You are giving another soul permission to breathe, to believe, to begin again. When you subscribe, you are simply choosing to stay near the light, to keep walking with those who speak the same unseen language of hope. When you comment, your words are not noise, they are footprints of faith left on sacred ground. Each sentence becomes a small light guiding another wanderer home. And if your spirit feels led to pour back into what has poured into you, let generosity be your offering. To donate is to water the soil that once nourished you. It is to keep the flame alive for those still searching in the dark. No amount is small when it carries love. No act is wasted when it's done in faith. You have heard heaven's whisper, and now your heart answers. Carry this light forward not loudly, but steadily, beautifully, endlessly.